Continue our discussion about the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Sitteer, the one who covers faults and sins. The last couple of nights, those of you who go to Matheson, there was a dead skunk, Main Gate and Matheson. And I take that road. So every night, the last couple of nights, I've been driving by and the dead skunk is there and the smell is terrible. So I know for us, this smell of a skunk is so devastating, so bad, you can't breathe. But for skunks, this is like cologne. It's not a problem for them to live around it. Now, the first thing that came to my mind when I was leaving and I got this smell and I couldn't breathe, and I said, subhanallah, what if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not a Sitteer and وَالذُّنُوبْ كَانَ لَهَا رَوَائِحْ. Every time we commit a sin or a mistake, we're going to smell something. So people, when they see us, they know for sure we did something bad. So say, for example, if you delayed your salah or you didn't pray at all, you start to smell like a skunk, people will know. And say, for example, if you don't pay your zakah, you smell like, like rotten socks, right? Something terrible. And what happens if you're bad to your family, you're nasty to your wife, or you're nasty to your husband, or the kids are nasty to their parents? Everyone will know in the community. وَقَالُوا قَدِيمًا لَوْ كَانَ لِلذُّنُوبِ رَوَائِحْ لَمَا تَدَافَنَ النَّاسِ. If sins have smells, when someone dies in the Muslim community, no one will go for their janazah. Because everyone will say, we have heard, we have smelled his smell all the time. He smelled, one day he was stealing, one day he was lying, one day he was delaying his salah. That would have been very terrible. We wouldn't even talk to each other because people will smell something and they say, this is bad. And again, all of us, we make mistakes day and night, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a Sitteer and He covers us. And also imagine if we have this machine, they have at airports, and every time you go to the airport, beep, 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 and they take you to the side, and eventually they find out it was your belt, they take it out, they take out your shoes, your pants, your shirt, everything. Mr. Muhammad, we're going to ask you a couple of questions, and they take you into their interrogation room for a week. But anyway, now imagine if we have one of those here in the masjid, and if you come to the masjid after committing a sin, doing something bad, whatever, and this goes off, right? And everyone in the masjid knows that you're a terrible person. What happens? You will not be able to find a job with a Muslim because they smell you every day, the machine goes off every day. And if you propose to marry someone's daughter, they say you don't smell yourself, you don't know what you are doing, because now people know what is going on. But out of the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He covers us. No one knows anything. In front of people, as I mentioned yesterday, the reason why we like each other is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals our good deeds and He covers our sins. And this is why we talk to each other and we love each other. And this is from the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Sitteer. Also another aspect of the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Sitteer, He does not expose us the first time we commit a sin. Right? The first time you do something bad, you have sleepless nights, you feel bad, and after doing it for 5, 7 times, it becomes like a routine for you, you don't feel anything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covers you. First time, maybe He will make tawbah. Second time, give him another chance. 10 times, more chances. And this is out of the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now imagine every time you do something bad and you get a whooping right away. That would have been terrible. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His mercy, He's giving you a chance after chance after chance, so you will make tawbah. And again, this is a great ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the reason He's doing this is because He loves you. He's giving you more time, He's giving you more chances, so you will come back to Him of your own free will. Otherwise, if you make tawbah after a whooping, you'll become like a munafiq. I'm making tawbah because I don't want him to give me a whooping. But if you do it out of love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not only He will forgive the past sins, but He will turn them into good deeds. إِلَّا مَنْ تَابَ وَآمَنَ وَعَمِلَ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا فَأُولَٰئِكَ يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ. Surah Furqan. If you do it of your own free will, because you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Now because you have haya, He covers you so many times. He didn't expose you. And He shows people that you are a good person, although in secret, in private, we do terrible things. He's giving you chances after chances, so you will make tawbah of your own free will. So we should appreciate this ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The problem is, when we do bad things in private, no one knows about them. The only or the least one that we think about when we do the haram things in private is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now imagine if you are in a room, the door is closed, we're doing something bad, and a little kid, 2 years old, walks in, then you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching all the time. It seems like you have more respect for this 2-year-old kid than the King of Kings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you keep this in your mind, I think we should have haya for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He covers us all the time. جيء برجل إلى عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه. Liss, at shore, a hearse was brought to Umar ibn Khattab رضي الله عنه, and he said, punish him. Did you steal? He said, yes. So he said, punish him. So the man said, oh, it's my first time, you shouldn't punish me. So Umar said, كذبت. You're a liar. It's not your first time. So the man said, he had some logic, and he said, I call it stupid philosophy. He said, do you know al-ghayb? How do you know it's not my first time? فقال عمر رضي الله عنه إن الله تعالى ستير ما كان ليفضحك من المرة الأولى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Sitteer. He covers people His rahmah, and He never exposes anyone from the first time they do it. Then they punished him, and as the man was leaving after he received his punishment, his whooping, تبعه علي رضي الله عنه كما في هذا الأثر فقال أستحلفك بالله أهي مرتك الأولى قال لا والله لقد سرقت قبلها 21 مرة. So Ali رضي الله عنه followed him, and he said, by Allah, tell me, is this really your first time? He said, no, since you asked me by Allah, I stole 21 times before. It's not my first time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a Sitteer. I'm going to conclude with this story. A man came to Ibrahim ibn Adham. It's a beautiful story. Try to remember this one when you remember the name of Allah as Sitteer. So this man, a youth, came to Ibrahim ibn Adham, and he says, I'm doing all the sayyat, all the sins in the book, all the terrible things. I cheat, I lie, drinking, dating, marijuana. It's legal now. Terrible things, right? It used to be illegal, but anyway. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is covering me all the time, but I'm taking advantage of this. I never make tawbah. I feel like I'm a smart guy. No one is knowing what is going on. Allah loves me because He covers me all the time. And I think eventually Allah will not punish me. Or this is what I think. So what can I do when I do all these bad things and Allah is covering me all the time? How can I go to Jannah without punishment? So Ibrahim ibn Adham says, I'm going to tell you 5 secrets. If you do them, Allah will not punish you. You can do whatever you want, all the terrible things in the world, and Allah will not punish you if you do these 5 things. If you want to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and commit sins in secret, فَلَا تَأْكُلْ مِنْ رِزْقِهِ. Don't eat from the rizq of Allah. So the man said, okay, this is difficult, man. Because everything in this world is from Allah. Fruits, vegetables, biryani, Turkish delights, maqluba, kapsa, chicken suqar, kushari. Everything is from Allah. He said, aren't you ashamed to eat from the rizq of Allah and disobey Him, although He's covering you all the time? He said, okay, what's excuse number 2? He said, if you want to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَلَا تَسْكُنْ فِي مُلْكِهِ. He said, man, this is even more difficult than the first one. He said, if you want to disobey Allah, although He's covering you all the time, don't live in His kingdom. Go somewhere else. So the man said, this is difficult, man. Because if I live in Vancouver, if I live in Cairo, if I live in Karachi, Mogadishu, Istanbul, even Kunya, I'm still in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, aren't you ashamed to eat from His rizq and live in His kingdom, and you disobey Him in secret? He said, okay, what is number 3? He says, number 3, if you want to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَعْصَهُ فِي مَكَانٍ لَا يَرَاكَ فِيهِ. If you really want to disobey Allah and you don't want to get punished, disobey Him in a place where Allah is not able to see you. He said, man, this is even more difficult than the first 2. And he says you eat from his rizq, you live in his kingdom, he sees you day and night and you still disobey him? He says, La hawla wa la quwwata. What's number 4? I still have some hope, 2 more to go. He says if you live a life of sin and the angels of death come to take you, drag you and say, okay, let's go, you are going to die, and tell them I ain't dying today, I don't feel like dying today. فَلَا تَمُتْ. Yani say, I'm not going to die today. He said, I can't, because if they take my soul, I can't resist. They will take my soul, they don't ask for my permission, they will just take it. He says, you eat from his rizq, you live in his kingdom, he sees you, and you cannot stop death, and you still disobey him. He said, man, it's getting more difficult all the time. What about the last excuse? This is the last excuse. If you live a life of sin, and you die a sinful person, and on Yawm al-Qiyamah, when they come to take you, to drag you, to take you to Jahannam, you know, they drag you, فَيُؤْخَذُ بِالنَّوَاصِ وَالْأَقْدَامِ. They drag you by the feet. Every time I come across this ayah in Surah Rahman, they drag the wicked by their feet. I remember United Airlines. The guy in the video, you know, they drag, okay. So they're gonna drag you to Jahannam, and if they drag you, if they want to take you to Jahannam, say, I don't want to go with you. I don't feel like going to Jahannam today, you know. I just had my spicy biryani, I'm not going today. So he said, subhanAllah, I can't do it. I cannot stop them from taking my soul, I cannot stop them from punishing me and taking me to Jahannam. He says, subhanAllah, you eat from his rizq all the time. You live in his kingdom. He sees you by day and night. You cannot stop death. You cannot stop the angels of death from taking you to Jahannam, and you still disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have no excuse for you. So the man said, Ushhiduka Allah anni tubtu ala yadayk. Bear witness in front of Allah that I make tawbah right in front of you now. I'm not committing any more sins. Wa ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an yasturana fi dunya wal akhirah. Ameen. The question for last night, the ruler of Egypt in the Quran is called Fir'aun, Pharaoh. There's one exception in Surah Yusuf. The ruler of Egypt is called king. How come? So those of you who study history, they know that there are some certain periods in the history of Egypt where Egyptians were not ruled by Egyptians. At the time of Yusuf alayhi salam, a little bit before Yusuf alayhi salam, the Hyksos invaders came from outside and they invaded Egypt and they ruled Egypt for hundreds of years. So at the time of Yusuf alayhi salam, the ruler was called king, Hyksos king. And you can read this in the Jewish encyclopedia, for example. They say that he's called king, not a pharaoh. The ruler of Egypt at the time of Yusuf alayhi salam in the Bible is called a king. But the Quran is more accurate. He calls him, he's called pharaoh in the Bible, but in the Quran he's called king, and the Quran is more accurate in this case. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't know about this. It came to him from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the winner is brother Tamir al-Jamal. Tamir al-Jamal. MashaAllah. You're from Egypt, right? So you know the history. MashaAllah. Takbir. Jazakallah. Barakallah feek. Now this question is more difficult, and if you know the answer, we'll give you the double reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. If this Quran was from anyone other than Allah, there would be so much or so many contradictions inside. Now, listen to this. Surah Baqarah, Surah 2, ayah number 21. وَالَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَسَوَّاهُنَّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to Surah Baqarah, ayah 29, He created the earth first, then He directed His attention to the heavens, and He created the heavens. Now Surah Nazi'at. أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاءِ بَنَاهَا. Created it. رَفَعَ سَمْكَهَا فَسَوَّاهَا إِلَى آخِرِ الْآيَةِ وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. Created the heavens, then He created the earth, which is the opposite of what is mentioned in Surah Baqarah. How do we understand this? Isn't this a contradiction? Surah Baqarah says He created the earth first, the heavens second. Surah Nazi'at, the opposite, the earth, the opposite actually, the heavens and the earth. How do you explain this? If you know the answer, email me before tomorrow Asr at Imam Mustafa at Anatolia Center.ca. Jazakallah khair.